Chair Barova, would you mind saying something to test the audio again?
Sorry, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Great.
Recording in progress.
We have a quorum and are ready to begin.
Wonderful. Charmaine, would you do roll call, please?
Commissioner Burley,
Here.
Commissioner Felder,
Here.
Commissioner Litzo,
Here.
Commissioner Martin Morris,
Here.
Commissioner Melcher, Commissioner Roggenmuser,
Here.
Commissioner Schultz,
Here.
Chair Barella.
Here.
Thank you.
Great. And could I ask commission staff if you would take a moment and introduce yourselves as well, please?
Jessica DeBarros, Executive Director.
Charmaine McLeod, Executive Assistant.
Kara Lowe, Director of Operations.
Elizabeth McCamus, Assistant Attorney General.
Jess Sabin Barton, Director of School Quality and Accountability.
Italiana Hughes, Oversight Manager.
Alma Abubakar, Oversight Manager.
Great. Is that all of our staff? And I see Commissioner Melcher is present as well. Charmaine, if we didn't hear roll call earlier.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, as we look at our public comment period, 33 people have signed up for public comment. And so I would like to extend the public comment period in order to ensure we have enough time to consider the important agenda for today. We will make time for all 33 people who have signed up to speak, but we're also going to have to shorten the time period to 1 minute per person in order to facilitate both of those goals. So public comment procedure, the commission provides a public comment at every commission meeting that will be limited to the designated amount of time posted on the agenda. Today, public comments will be limited to 1 minute per person. When making public comment, please be aware that in order to ensure each person making public comment has the attention of the commission and the opportunity to be heard, commissioners may not necessarily respond to comments. Members of the public indicate that they want to make a public comment using the public comment sign-up form on the Charter School Commission website or by signing up in person at the commission meeting. Sign up using the public comment sign-up form closed this morning at 9 a.m. In-person sign-up closes 5 minutes before the start of our commission meeting. Members of the public will be called upon by Charmaine in order, with in-person comments going first, followed by virtual comments, to give their comments for the amount of time we have allotted. In addition, members of the public can submit written comments by email. All written comments are included in the online meeting materials folder and available on the commission website. Charmaine is also going to track the time for each public commenter. And so with that, Charmaine, I will ask if you would facilitate.
Okay. Let me just share. Okay, so we'll start with the in-person comments first, and if you could just step up here next to the microphone when you're called upon. First is Robin McDonald, followed by Nikki Jones, Olive Francis, and Christopher Richmond.
Charmaine, sorry. if someone is giving public comment, we cannot hear it. Maybe you haven't started yet. It looked by the nonverbals that comments had begun, but we cannot hear it online.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Now
she
we can.
requested her public comment to be 2 minutes because she drove all the way from Pullman with her daughter.
Who also prepared public comments, and they should be under 2 minutes, but they will be over 1 minute.
I think in order to be consistent, you're more than welcome to submit the written comments that you aren't able to make it through. Each of you are more than welcome to have a minute. And if we don't get to everything, please submit your comments in writing and we will absolutely read those in their entirety.
Thank you. Hello, Chair Barella and Commissioners. I'm Robin McDonald, the new Board Chair of Pullman Community Montessori, a business owner in Pullman, and most importantly, the mother of Olive and Ozzy, who are students at PCM and their youngest brother, Bradley. Foremost, I want to acknowledge that PCM is in need of major change if it's to serve students according to the commitments made in its charter. I'm also here to assure you that our community is poised to make it happen. In the past 4 weeks alone, I've seen our families self-organize into committees to problem solve our financial sustainability, student support systems, and more. Grandparents and parents like myself have stepped up to give our professional talents to the board and double its capacity. And I've had dozens of conversations with staff and parents about their unwavering belief in the need for this school and that it can be a place of joyful, rigorous learning. 6 students enrolled just this week. We're working quickly, but we implore you to give us more time. Through coordinated efforts, we'll update our school in a sustainable, data-driven way and identify the right leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Olive Francis.
Hello, I'm Olive, and I'm a 7th grader from PCM. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and I love PCM. Before COVID-19 started, I was in a traditional school where all my grades were really bad, and I had to go in many groups for my reading and math, and my test scores weren't that good. During COVID, it got even worse. PCM really helped, and I'm now in my real grade bubble. All my friends agree that PCM is a really good school for them, and it's changed a lot. And if they did go into traditional school, it's going to be really hard for them. They just say that the responsibility that they have there is really good for them, and the freedom to do what they want when they need to is better for them when they go to traditional school.
Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher Richmond. Candace Held. Janelle Van Eken. Elise Albano.
Here, sorry.
Oh, okay. You're gonna do a virtual comment?
Yes.
Okay, I'll call you when we get to the virtual comments. We're gonna do in person first.
Okay.
Willow Falcon.
Took me a minute. It wasn't.
I also meant to sign up for virtual comments. I apologize.
Sandra Rose.
I also meant to sign up for virtual.
Dave Jones,
I am virtual also.
And can I enter, this is Candace Held. I couldn't find my mute. I'm also on virtual.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kingsley Jones,
Also virtual.
Ashley Jansen,
I'm also virtual.
Ariana Albano,
She's also virtual.
Shannon Ruska, Natalie Hall,
I'm also virtual.
well, that completes the in-person list, so I can move on to the virtual list. Jordan Bovee, no Jordan. David Schneider.
They're both virtual.
So we're doing virtual comments now. So Jordan Bovee, if you're here, you can unmute.
Sorry about that. I will cede my time in just a second. I just want to make sure to draw attention to the comments that the public have written that are in the materials, which are overwhelmingly positive. But other than that, there's nothing I can say that hasn't been said better by many other people. Thank you. I'll cede the rest of my time.
David Schneider.
If possible, I would like to cede my time to one of the students, Audrey.
PCM has been a really good experience for me, a lot better than public school. Pre-COVID, I was always above grade level, and they wouldn't let me do above grade level work, which was really hard for me. And they'd make me relearn stuff, which made my dad had to teach me stuff that they weren't teaching me. And during COVID, I didn't really do anything. I have been in PCM since the first year, and my mom has been talking about signing me up since like Layla first started setting up the school. And I really want the school to work, and it's a really good environment for me. And public school just has not worked for me. Thank you for the time.
Next is Jill Stanford.
Hi, my name is Jill Stansberry. I'm the Montessori coach and a teacher at Pullman Community Montessori. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the school over the last 2 years, and the thing that attracted me about it is that it's what I like to call a love machine, where students who come from all different kinds of backgrounds find a place, people support, and they care for them. I've been incredibly disheartened by the behavior of some people in our community. I say it's a tale as old as time. When people become interested in the resources that somebody else have, they begin by attacking a marginalized community and creating fear in a community. And I believe that people have leveraged fear as a way of getting access to the resources that our school has. I hope that the commission will give us a democratic and fair hearing. This school is fantastic, has done amazing work, and deserves to survive. Thank you very much for your time.
Next up is Eric Marler.
I'm here. All right. I do appreciate the time. As a parent, I have 3 kids since the beginning of the school opening. They've gone from kindergarten, first grade, and now in 2nd grade. They have thrived. 2 of mine are on IEPs.
One of mine is autistic, my oldest. She has not had a very good time in traditional school. And when she came here, she has flourished. My kids are loved at the school greatly. If this place closes, I think my kids will fall back and not be able to succeed where I know their potential is.
Next is Becca Miller McPhee.
Hello, I'm here. Thank you. I just want to say that I took my 6-year-old to kindergarten in our public school system here, and it did not go well. It was a place where he couldn't be creative, he couldn't be himself, he really struggled. And so we took him to Pullman Community Montessori, and he has just thrived. The staff there know him. They've taken the time to know us as a family. They've included us in as a family in his education. He loves going to school. There's no more anxiety on Sunday nights. And we would just hate for this wonderful thing that we have gotten to fall away. So I am heartened by the community of parents, grandparents, and community members who have been showing up, going to meetings, and doing everything that we can to help the school survive. Thank you.
Next is Elise Albano.
Hi. So I had like many probably had a thing written out. So I'm quickly revising in my head. And I guess what I want to say is that I am super frustrated and demoralized at the moment because I sent a message to the commission and I spoke in person with the person who came and led things, Jess. And I'm not I was not followed up on with that, even though, so I was given her card, but I wasn't given the chance. My information was there. She could have researched, she could have talked to me, and I have a great deal to tell you. I was an IA last year, or I was a sub last year, and then I trained to be an IA, and there is so much more going on here that we can't tell people, and it's so frustrating.
Thank you.
Next is Nikki Jones.
You're talking about? Hi, I'm Nikki Jones. I am the mom of 3 boys that go to the Montessori school. My boys are neurodivergent as well as one of the earlier parents that spoke. I just want to reiterate that in public school, my boys were all bullied, not just by kids, but by teachers and by the administration. And since moving them to PCM, they have thrived. They've become leaders. Not just others, they've become leaders. I also want to say that I had the unique opportunity of being upstairs in the building for my kids. That's where my office is located. The building is safe. The building is beautiful. They thrive inside of it. They are all learning more than I could ever imagine. They're truly part of their community. They're learning how to care for one another. They're teaching them manners. I mean, everything that public school misses on, PCM has just been amazing at. And I love it, and I hope it survives.
Dave Jones.
Hi, my name is Dave Jones. I am Nikki's spouse and also father to 3 children. She said that very well. I highly support PCM. I think they're doing a wonderful job in creating an environment, as Jill mentioned, that is very loving and supportive of children. Ours are thriving, flourishing at the school. And in my opinion, most of the issues that have been raised are the result of PCM being a truly public school and taking in all students of all different kinds of abilities and with different issues that they may face. So I think they're doing a wonderful job, and I completely support what they're doing and hope that it continues to stay open and thrives.
Kingsley Jones?
So howdy. The community in Pullman Community Montessori is very good. I am friends with a lot of the teachers. They are much more respecting than most public school teachers are. And I have a lot of friends there. Basically the whole class I think of as my friends. And it's to the point where I kind of didn't want Christmas break this year. And so I do not want it to go away. And I don't think I'd be very happy if it went away. Goodbye.
Ashley Johnson?
I'm sorry, was that Ashley Jansen?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's me. I just would like you all to know that in most classrooms, 15% of students have an IEP, and at PCM, 25% of those students have an IEP. We should, by rights, have low test scores, problematic behaviors. All of those kids are in the classroom. It's an inclusive environment. There should be disruptions. There should be problems. And instead, we are #1 in the nation for socio-emotional development. Our test scores in mathematics and reading go up year after year after year. We are a success story despite any problems we may be having. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, help us succeed. Help us get even better. Let's see what we can do. This is an amazing school and an amazing opportunity for Watch Charters to see what can happen.
Michelle Bosley?
Hi, my name is Michelle Bosley. My son Ben is in first grade at PCM in room 207. When I read about today's meeting, I felt it was important to share my experience with PCM over the last year. Ben attended Pullman Public Schools for kindergarten and had a marvelous teacher. That said, the year was challenging. He was put on an improvement plan almost immediately, and while that had a positive impact on his behavior in the classroom, it had a negative effect on his attitude towards school and learning. He spoke about himself in negative terms, insisted that he was not smart and he couldn't do hard things, or that he was dumb. As parents, this was heartbreaking. His energy level and inconsistent focus have made him a challenge to teach, but Montessori has really helped that. Since his enrollment began in fall of last year, we've seen a massive change in him. I think it's important to recognize that PCM has had a difficult year, specifically in his room, but they have overcome those challenges and the kids are doing great. My son is doing really well, thanks to the sports that he is getting, specifically with social emotional learning.
Ariana Albano?
Here she goes.
There's something you would need to be in the school to experience it firsthand. Something that I get to experience myself. PCM has a lot of diversity. Among this diversity is me. It does not matter that you like how your brain works or who you are. It matters most in this community to be yourself. Learning is so important. To do a project you want to do is a different process from doing what you need to do. I do graphic design and animations for my games, stories, and videos. This school truly is important to me, not only in helping me let my imagination out, it's where I met my best friend, I, and so many other friends. The community of my school altogether is something else, something special. There's no chance you would find another school with a community like mine. The community is something that, if you look into it, has its own unique story.
Sandra Rhodes?
Hello there. My daughter, Sydney, attends the first grade in Miss Jill's class who spoke earlier, and I love the compassion that the students are taught in the room with the environment of inclusion they have. They're taught to be kind to themselves. They're taught to be kind to others. They're taught to challenge themselves academically. And it really is a wonderful environment. I volunteer at the school 2 or 3 times a week in my daughter's classroom, and it's been very positive for all parties. And one thing I love about this school is that every administrator and aide and teacher I've met, they love the students, they love the school. You just have a nice feeling in the classroom and the school. You know that your kid is in a place where the teachers truly care about them. And our public schools in Pullman are actually quite good, but there's something special about PCM. So I truly hope that you will give it a chance and see all the good that it has done for our students, because we need this school. We truly do. Thank you.
Becky Byers.
She is here. Let me start my video. Or... Oh. Hi, my name is Becky Byers. I have 40 years of experience in teaching, and also I was in the Pullman School District for 18 years as far as subbing and doing long-term subs. And the reason why I like this school so well is because it is hands-on learning. A lot of the times in the public school, what happens, even though I love the public school, I'm not saying that, is what happens is they teach a lesson and then they go straight to a worksheet or doing things like that. In our kindergarten classroom, I counted this morning, we have 93 different hands-on activities in math, reading, practical life, science, and social studies. And that's why the kids succeed so well, is because of all of the hands-on things that they do in our classroom and throughout the whole school.
Audrina Baker. Audrina Baker.
Yeah, actually, I had already had her speech, so sorry, we had 2 next to it. Yeah, so she's already spoken.
Tyler Perez.
Speaking. So my experience here at the PCM for the past couple of years, you know, there's some good and bad, but mostly bad. At the end of the day, to me, they're just a glorified daycare. There's, you know, my son has been threatened by another student at school twice that his life would be taken, and so would mine in my second half here. PCM called us, but never made a report on anything. They didn't want to follow up either. The counselor's not even there to really even be in person to talk with the students. My son went from being a very good emotional student and everything at home to now where he's having to fend for himself at the school. Okay, he was coming home with bruises. Shoot, I even pulled him off of a bus with his head being pushed into the window, and they did nothing about it. PCM is not a safe place for kids anywhere. At least, and my son has an IEP to begin with. The communication with PCM, shoot, they didn't even get a hold of me to let me know that my son racked up a $500 bill when he didn't even have authorization to get lunch food. But hey, PCM is such an excellent school, but they're crap in my opinion.
Emily Klein.
Yep, I'm here. I have been the director of special services at Pullman Community Montessori. I have worked directly with all of the administrators and staff at PCM, as well as state partners, since our opening day on July 6th. PCM is the only choice school in the Palouse region. We are also the only school with a full inclusion model. Families come to PCM with a desire for something better. They want their children to have a voice. They want their children to be engaged in their learning at all times, not just preferred activities. They want their children to be included in a welcoming, safe, and joyful manner. They want their children to be assessed equitably in a way that meets their way of learning. They want their children to learn self-management skills that are not adult-driven. Above all, they want their children to look forward to learning and leave with the desire to come again the next day. PCM meets these desires. These opportunities offer students hands-on learning in order to understand, and PCM serves children a world where they must advocate for themselves and learn to talk. And PCM what closing the doors to PCM means closing these opportunities for the children of the Palouse region.
Jared Kuhn.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm here. So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm the school counselor here, and I just want to say that we as a staff have gone through a lot this year, but we are building stronger as a staff, and we're positive of what we've been doing, and we care about the students. Our main thing here, why we come to school every day, is to care about the students. And I think it shows with everything that we've gone through this year that yes, it's been tough, but we're still following through. And our main goal is compassion for them. And that's all I got. And it shouldn't be revoked.
Lauren Brown.
Here. So I am a parent of 3 kids. I'm also a licensed psychologist in the community. And similar to what others have said, this is really the only option that's an alternative to the public school system. And for us, it has really been important to have a place that is neurodiverse affirming, allowing students who wouldn't necessarily thrive in a traditional public school to have a place where they have some of that flexibility and other things that will help support them. I know that requires more resources to help them really thrive. And so is there areas for improvement? Yes. My hope is that PCM can continue to get those resources because it really is the only option in this area. And I'm concerned for my student and others who, if they don't have this option, where would they go? Thank you.
Letty Rising.
Okay. Hi, my name is, can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
My name is Letty Rising, and I served as the interim head of school for Layla in January and February. There's a profound need for PCM to not only survive but thrive. The school has tremendous potential, but with the school now in danger of closing, it feels as though all the work done in recent weeks to identify and implement changes may have been in vain. I believe that we must give both people and organizations a chance to change. The groundwork laid recently to improve PCM needs the opportunity to be put into practice. With the right people and systems in place, I am confident that this school can not only continue to survive but thrive. While I can't be there in person, I would like to offer help remotely wherever I can to help get the school on track. I urge you to consider allowing PCM to continue, to give it a chance to implement the necessary changes. I believe it can turn around. The staff may be small, but they have an immense heart, and I'd like to see them have the opportunity to show you what they are capable of.
Maria Ramos.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Maria Ramos. I am the mother of my kid who goes to kindergarten, and I honestly have nothing but wonderful things to speak about this school. My son has an IEP, and since joining in the fall, I have seen him just grow so much, love school. He actually never wants to miss school. Even when he's sick, he begs me to bring him to school because he loves learning. He loves his teachers. He loves the environment that he's able to have and just thrive. I have seen him go from feeling like he couldn't have any friends to just creating tons of friends and learning so much. And he reads to me, which I think is amazing in a kindergarten. So I'm just very, very happy with the school and everything that they do for the kids that they have there and how much work they put into every single student that they have. So I really do hope that it's going to be here in the fall because I honestly don't know what a choice for my son would be. Thank you.
Shannon Ruska.
Hi, this is Shannon. So I'd like to say that I've been hearing a lot of kind of black and white either or thinking happening. We have a student that is also neurodivergent, and it feels like for our experiences of family and children, both experiences could be true. I think some classrooms are insulated to some degree from some of the problems that others have experienced. And I don't think it's fair to say that we're exaggerating or trying to ruin the school for others when it's actually a wish that we would like it to continue, but we would like it to continue in a safe way and in a way that all children's needs are being met. Because like I said, our child is neurodivergent, and we also feel a lack of choices, but we also feel it's not a safe choice at this time. We believe that the community does need this option, and this level of need is all the reason more that it should be done correctly with leadership and a board that have the necessary and appropriate experience and expertise to make sure that all children are being served. I think the level that it took to get concerns heard, we're afraid they're going to be ignored. Thank you.
Thank you. Janelle Van Aken.
Hi, my name is Janelle Von Aken. I have a son that's in 6th grade and a daughter that's in 4th grade at PCM. And my son last year in 5th grade was only at the end of 5th grade last year was only at a 4th grade level. And I asked the school, you know, is he going to be okay at Lincoln Middle School, the public school, you know, the traditional school? And they're like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. But by the end of September, beginning of October, he stopped going. He was told by his lab groups and tables and kids that he worked with that he's stupid and he couldn't keep up. So he would come home saying, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I'm not going anymore. And due to insurance reasons, he just got diagnosed with with moderate to severe dyslexia. And his therapist wanted him to go, not do online school, but go to a school with people like PCM, and he's thriving there, and I hope it stays open. Thank you.
Megan Franco. Megan Franco. Catherine Jackson.
Hi, my name is Catherine Jackson, and I am a former parent at PCM. I first want to personally thank you for actually listening to families and staff and taking our concerns seriously. Reading through the memorandum in the NPP last night, for the very first time in over a year, I felt heard, that someone was finally listening and that there could be some long overdue accountability. I put a lot of thought into if starting the process to revoke the charter is the correct step to take, and in my opinion, I believe it is. I do not take this lightly. However, I have also had over a year to observe and bring issues to the school. It has been through this process that it is clear to me that starting the revoking process is the only thing that could actually save the school. Evidence is in the fact that the school board only announced putting Layla on administrative leave and Bev stepping down as the chair last night, changing the agenda after the board was aware of the commission's position. All of my experience with the board shows me that they are only making decisions and taking action under extreme pressure. Even their responses to the NPP show that they are still making excuses, taking zero accountability, and not telling the truth. I took my claim of retaliation to them in April 25th, 2023.
Thank you. And last is Katie Kendrick.
I'm here. I'm sharing a computer with Natalie Hall. I've been a staff member at PCM for the last 3 years, and over those years, I have witnessed nothing but incredible dedication from the staff toward our students. We serve students that have been typically left behind by traditional models, and we do that because there is a great need for that in Pullman. I believe revoking the charter would be a great disservice to the children of the area, and as has been stated before, I believe in the school. I just think that we need time to implement the changes that we see, and in order to reach our full potential for the children of Pullman.
I actually have one more. Candace Held.
Thank you. I appreciate you grabbing me real quick. Just a small blurb. Pullman Community Montessori has given my son a place where he is safe to learn at his own pace. Shown him how to navigate different personalities, different problems. Shown him how to lead with compassion and boundaries amongst hard choices. This isn't just his story. One of my contentions in working in the school systems is that I often heard how important it was that one child not be lost, but I saw systemic failures while working alongside my son because they were meant to fit in. I just want to do a little plea and say, dear fellow parents, we do need time. Dear fellow parents and those working on behalf of the commission, PCM has taught, influenced, and buoyed up so many of our unique and important lost children. I also plead for time. Thank you.
That is all of the public comment.
Thank you. Jessica, do you want to walk us through your recommendations?
Yes, I can do that. Thanks, Chair Varela. Under the Charter School Act, when a school is out of compliance, the commission has the option of pursuing corrective action, which you are familiar with. However, when there are grounds for revocation, there's a different procedure that's available. And the recommendation today is that the commission follow that procedure to determine whether or not revocation should ultimately occur. After extensive investigation and evaluation, I've come to this recommendation. Recommendation is allowed when a school otherwise failed to comply with the Charter School Act, or where the school committed a material and substantial violation of any of the terms, conditions, standards, or procedures required, failed to meet or make sufficient progress toward the performance expectations in the charter contract, failed to meet generally accepted standards of fiscal management, or substantially violated any material provisions of law from which the charter school is not exempt. The charter contract also provides additional bases for revocation, including but not limited to lack of financial viability or insufficient funds available for the operation of the school. I'm going to walk through the process. Charmaine, can you please pull up the process? If you approve, thank you. If you approve a motion to give notice and to issue a notice of revocation, that would be just the first step of the revocation process that is outlined in the Washington Administrative Code. So today we are on number 1 on this process on the screen. And the recommendation, which you are the deciders of, is the vote on the notice to revoke. Again, this is not revocation. This is just the first step in the process. If the commission votes to revoke, the commission would then issue a notice to revoke to the school. And that would include the reasons for revocation and we would provide that notice to the school. From that point, the school has 30 days to provide a written notice. The commission would then review that, the school's response and any supporting evidence, and issue a draft resolution to revoke or not revoke, along with any conditions if the commission votes to not revoke. The school can appeal this. That's the opportunity to respond. The school can appeal the draft resolution within 20 days. If they don't request an opportunity to respond, then that draft resolution becomes final. And if they do request an opportunity to respond, the matter would go to a public hearing. At that hearing, there would be a presiding officer that would issue a recommendation within 30 days after that hearing. The commission would recommend and consider all evidence and issue a final decision in the form of a resolution that states the reasons for revocation. The commission would then report that action to the state board and Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction within 10 days. And I walk through this process to indicate that it is a long process. It occurs over time, and there are several different parts in it. It's possible that even going through this process could go beyond the end of this school year. Thank you, Charmaine. I'm going to go through some of the background now. Pullman Community Montessori is a K-9 school. It's authorized for grades kindergarten through 9. It's currently serving grades K through 7 this year. And the commission has conducted an investigation. The commission received 43 complaints about the school since late January. We have conducted an investigation that's included gathering information, meeting with the school staff, the school board, visiting the school, observing classrooms and recess, observing board meetings, presenting at a board meeting, meeting with current and former staff, meeting with current and former families and other community members,
This has been an intensive process in which numerous problems and concerns have been surfaced by the commission and by the school community. The findings of our investigation are that the school is out of compliance with its charter contract and the law. And I'll walk through those areas of violation. The first area had to do with financial viability and lack of effective financial oversight of the school. The school has experienced a significant drop in enrollment. As of March 13th, the school reported 89 students enrolled compared to 136 budgeted. The school is currently enrolled at 65% of the budgeted enrollment. And since late January, 33 students have unenrolled. Enrollment is important because it's a key driver of revenue. And a school sets its budget based on projected enrollment, but it's funded on actual enrollment. So a school that does not meet its enrollment targets or that experiences a sudden drop or a severe drop in enrollment, such as PCM has, might not be able to meet its budgeted expenses. The school has already made significant changes to its operational and organizational structure in response to its financial position. However, the number of days on cash on hand is still low. On February 12th, 2024, the school reported to the commission that it had 17 days of cash on hand. And by contrast, in October, the school had 37 days of cash on hand. As of yesterday, March 14th, the school has 21 days of cash on hand. The commission standard for schools in their third year of operation, like PCM, is 60 days of cash on hand. And if a school goes below 15 days, they will not be able to operate for more than a few weeks without another cash inflow. The school has provided us with budget modeling and cash flow modeling, and it does anticipate having 31 days of cash on hand by August. However, that projection is based on very thin margins, as well as a higher student enrollment than the school currently has. And if more students unenroll, the school might not have sufficient cash flow to complete the school year. The second area of violation is a unilateral change to the educational program terms. The school has changed an educational program term without the commission's permission. This change involved combining classrooms so that students from grades 3 through grade 7, which is a 5-year time span, were grouped together. And rather than the 3-year grouping that has been approved by the commission and is essentially in the educational program term. Students from grades 3 through 7 were taught in one classroom with one teacher and one classroom assistant in the classroom. The educational program terms are outlined in the charter. Charter public schools authorized by the commission must adhere to the educational program terms. And this school has 3 educational program terms in its contract. Educational program term 1 is developmentally appropriate age grouped classrooms, which is specific to the Montessori model. And this educational program term also includes a requirement that classrooms have both a dual certified teacher and a trained classroom assistant with paraprofessional certification in each classroom. Now, the school has contended that the classrooms are not operating together and they're operating separately. However, even if they are operating separately, the school would still be in violation of this educational program term because that term requires each classroom to have both a dual certified teacher and a trained classroom assistant. The third area of violation is lack of effective operational and educational oversight of the school. With regard to compliance, the school has not met deadlines for submission of its required compliance documents. Schools are required to submit many documents to the commission every month. And 24% of those have been submitted late this school year. In particular, the school's annual performance report for the prior school year is 165 days overdue. The school also submitted restraint and isolation data late to OSPI for the prior school year. Another area of concern has been the number of board members, which is frequently operated below the required number according to the board's bylaws. We understand that last night the board voted on 2 new members and now has 6 members, which is within its bylaws. The fourth area of violation is inadequate student safety. The commission has received a pattern of complaints from current and or former staff and parents of the school about student safety. These include student elopement or students being unaccounted for, unsafe behavior that interrupts the educational and working environment, is harmful to themselves and others, and creates a physical and emotionally unsafe environment, severe student bullying, concerns of a lack of responsiveness to the education issues by the school, and students and staff feeling fearful for their safety at school, that there's inadequate supervision of students to keep them safe, and that they're afraid to go to school. The school is working actively with the commission on a corrective action plan with regard to student safety. The commission required the school to immediately correct the safety deficiencies, and the school submitted a plan to the commission on March 7th. The commission is in discussions with the school and has required additions to the safety plan, which the school is in the process of incorporating. That plan must be initiated immediately after approval by the commission. The fifth area of violation is threats of retaliation from the head of school. In the commission's meetings and correspondence with former and current teachers, the threat of retaliation by the head of school in the form of the head of school indicating one's job was at risk if negative information was made public by employees was described multiple times. In the commission's meetings and correspondence with parents, the experience and fear of retaliation by the head of school in the form of targeting one student for reporting safety issues was described. The school has hired a third-party investigator to address allegations of threats of retaliation. And the board has also put in place a process for the board to participate when there are people bringing forward a concern to the head of school. I'll now walk through your options. In considering this information and my recommendation, you have options, including but not limited to requiring further corrective action for the school, placing the school on probation and determining the terms of probation, or revocation of the charter contract. And again, this would be the very first stage of a long revocation process. I believe there is sufficient grounds to proceed under the revocation process. I recommend that the commission proceed with that process to determine whether or not revocation is warranted.
Thank you, Jessica. Commissioners, any questions for Jessica? I have one, Jessica, in reading through the materials, one of the areas that was identified was around student elopement. And in reading the response from the school, I didn't notice a response directly around elopement safety measures. Did I miss that? Or was that not addressed directly in the materials that was sent back?
In the school's safety plan that they submitted, they provided the current procedures and trainings that are used. And indicated that they would look into further trainings with the True Measure Collaborative, which is the inclusive education partner they work with. Part of our feedback to the school, which again, the corrective action plan is still in the negotiation phase. Part of our feedback was that the school work with a partner that was specifically focused on student safety and further provide more details on how to reduce both elopement and restraints.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions for Jessica? Okay, hearing no questions. The commission will now be going into executive session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, RCW 42.30.110(1) to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in its official capacity is or is likely to become a party when knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency. So the commission will be in executive session until, what time is it? 2:15, unless notified that an extension is required. There will be no final action taken in executive session.
Mhm.